WJBF News Channel 6 at 10 on MeTV.
Good evening. I'm Denise Jefferson. Thanks so much for joining us. John Hart has the night off tonight. And coverage you can count on begins with a Richmond County Schools parent who says he wants to see more done to handle bullying in schools.
Enough of the reaction. It's time for prevention.
A Westside High parent says it's time to put a stop to bullying in schools. Recently, a Westside student allegedly threatened to shoot up his house after an argument with his daughter.
That something could have bad happened. So I hope that no other family has to go through that or to deal with something or something worse.
He says his daughter is a victim of bullying and threats like these need to be taken seriously.
You look at the recent events with Michigan and right here in our own backyard, as far as with two situations that's happening in Grovetown. I mean, it's serious. It's very serious. You know, the key thing is prevention. We got to prevent these things from happening.
Smith contacted school administration as well as school resource officers, and the student was placed in school suspension following the incident. However, Smith says more could have been done in light of the seriousness of the situation.
When you report it and there's nothing done about it, or it's not taken serious, then you lose that. You lose that child, or you lose that parent that want to come forth or want to say something, and you lose that trust. And once you lose a child, once you lose that trust, it's hard to get it back.
He says he hopes in the future parents will continue to get involved in situations like this, and school administration will be more proactive.
I'm pretty sure no other family wants to be in that situation.
All right, and now it's time to take a look at your weather forecast with our chief meteorologist, Tim Miller. And Tim, today was a cold and rainy Wednesday.
Yeah, we haven't had one of those in a long time. So this is the rainy part, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, in fact, we'll look at Live Viper 6. This is a loop, Denise, from earlier this morning all the way to about 1 o'clock this afternoon. And look at that. That was great to see. Some decent amount of rain. In fact, about an inch of rain fell officially at Bush Field. This is Live Viper 6 now, and not a drop to be found as things, of course, are much drier. So again, about an inch. Again, that's a Bush Field. Generally speaking, around a half inch to an inch of rain. And I got to tell you, that's a good amount of water to fall from the sky. And boy, we certainly needed it. I'll tell you what, though, the sky started to clear. 38 in Saluda, 48 officially at Bush Field. So we still have some clouds. Once those clouds disperse, the temperatures will start to go down. Here's a Tuesday view looking really nice. There's high pressure that's smack dab over Nashville, Tennessee, and that's going to give us the clearing skies for tonight. So we'll do 36 degrees, and we'll say there could be a little bit of fog tomorrow morning off to school. In fact, our school day forecast at 8 o'clock, we're up to 40 degrees, that little patchy fog, and we'll have a little bit of sunshine tomorrow mixed with some clouds at a temperature of 62. So tomorrow will be dry, but the rain will move back in for Friday and Saturday. We'll talk about that in more detail with your forecast in just a little bit.
All right, thanks so much, Tim. Augusta's vaccine incentive program is coming to an early end, at least at the health department. This summer, commissioners approved $1.5 million for a vaccine incentive program where those getting those shots could collect $100 gift cards. The program was scheduled to go through the end of the year, but at the health department clinics, all the cards are gone. So they're still giving vaccines, but no longer with any incentives.
And some of the sites were busier than others that used up a lot of cards. So, you know, there's a few people that was not able to get the incentive, but was able to get the vaccination.
The other providers in the city program have some gift cards available and will still hand them out as long as they last, even if that goes past the end of the year. New information out about the Omicron variant and how it interacts with the coronavirus vaccine. Doctors warn this is still very early data. There's still a lot to learn about how sick it could make you and how quickly it can spread. News Channel 6's Chloe Salsameda has the latest.
New data from Pfizer-BioNTech giving us the first glimpse of how effective its coronavirus vaccine is against the Omicron variant. Lab studies showed those who received 2 doses and a booster shot were very protected from getting infected. Those who didn't get their booster were less protected.
The early evidence would suggest that if you have a booster and if you're recently vaccinated, that your antibody levels being higher is still protective against Omicron.
and still protective in keeping people from getting very sick.
One of the things that we want a vaccine to do is to lessen the severity of the illness or prevent severe illness or death. It still appears that this is true with Omicron.
There's still a lot scientists are trying to learn about Omicron. It has more than 30 mutations, which researchers believe may make it easier to spread.
We all knew that variants like these will show up at some point all across the globe.
Omicron has been detected in the Peach State. If it gets to the CSRA, it will likely be identified at a lab at the Medical College of Georgia.
We are ready to test any number of samples.
This lab giving the Augusta area an edge.
But having this kind of setup in Augusta or at MCG definitely puts us at a very advantageous stage to have these kinds of sequencing done in this virus and identify them way early so that public health policies can be made.
Bottom line,
there's a big push right now for people to get either vaccinated if they're not vaccinated, or also to get a booster if they're eligible for a booster.
In Augusta, Chloe Salsameda, WJBF, News Channel 6.
Some South Carolinians are worried about forever chemicals found in their drinking water. This has caught the attention of South Carolina lawmakers who are looking at ways to address this problem. A Senate Medical Affairs subcommittee discussed a new bill that would direct DHEC to come up with a maximum contaminant level for certain chemicals, including PFAs. Those are called forever chemicals because they don't break down and stay in the environment.
So we can't just assume this will happen quickly or leave it up to the feds to swoop in and save us on these things. We can take action ourselves, South Carolinians.
Critics of the legislation, including business groups and water associations, say since the EPA is working on a federal standard right now, there's no need for state standards. The mayor and a city councilman are shaking hands in Washington, Georgia, following an altercation. NewsChannel 6's Wes Cooper has the story.
That committee has to look at this.
City leaders in Washington are ready to move forward.
Once we realize that we're tearing the city apart, we just have to come together as one to do what we need to do.
Mayor Bill DeGolian says he is going to withdraw the ethics complaint he filed against Colors in October. The complaint stems from an incident that happened at City Hall where Colors put his hands on the mayor.
We're not going to agree on everything. That's fine. No one's expected to agree on everything, but you just talk out your differences and you work it out.
During Wednesday's ethics hearing, City Attorney Barry Fleming explained ordinances governing ethics complaints. DeGolian then requested to speak with Colors and his attorney, Jack Long, privately.
Councilman Colors and I worked this out on a rational basis, and as he says, we just need to talk out the differences.
The men returned to the meeting. DeGolian and Colors apologized to one another. They shook hands and hugged.
I apologize for what I've done, and I'm moving forward to make this city of Washington a better town, working together. And this should show the community that we are trying to do the right thing.
The city is on the cusp of some really good things happening. I think there's a great potential for new housing coming to the city. The city is going to grow. I see this coming in the next couple of years. Certainly hope so. And we've got to be on the same page.
Right.
Colors was also sworn in Wednesday to serve another term as city councilman after being reelected in November. The city council will meet again on December 13th in Washington, Georgia. Wes Cooper, WJBF News Channel 6.
Coming up next, a look into your local forecast and wicked weather. LA city officials are talking about how to decarbonize buildings in Los Angeles.